Who's ready for this? Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. Morning motivation time. Your boy Marquis Saint about to get this bong rip on. Check this out. It's kind of getting chippy. It's a bit chippy in the windy city. I can feel it. There's some sunshine, so I got to go get my workout on. It's kind of the not kind of the it's definitely the way to go. I was watching what was it, some video with the homie. Just drank some water. Hold on. As soon as you scream boom baby boom, takes it out of you really. Here we go. I feel better. Um where it's like you got to make your workouts your number one priority right now. If not number one, then number two is what the guy was saying. And right now, uh Chigata. Everybody was asking, what does Chigata mean or how to spell it? This is how you spell it. It means goodbye, like see you later in Finnish, but I think it's such a cool word. I mean, Tikarilla. It's a weird name for a city in Finland, and I used their logo, basically flipped it upside down. That's the way it looks. It's a painting company, but I used their font and their logo, flipped it around, and really made it cool. I've been slapping slaps. This we call them in Vegas. We slapping them on the stop sign, slapping them at the government house, slapping them on the trains and buses. And what I'm about to do is take a picture outside the business like this, with the actual design. You know what I mean? And then the actual logo above me. So I got like 10 places to go and take photos and show the inspiration and do the damn thing. So that's what we gonna do. Yeah. Don't mind me, I've been coughing up all this morning, but I'm about to get this bong rip on. Vantage points, perspective lines, and being able to view things in different lights. That's what we're gonna talk about this morning. Motivation. Straight up, don't tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Oh no. Just this little bit amount. And bring your boy high as a motherfucker. So this is what we're talking about this morning, because it was like, for the longest time, I was beating myself over the head. And even still, I'll still have some sort of dread. I got some cuttings here instead of tobacco. We got a little bit of the cuttings from another grow. You know how it grows, yo. You know how it grows. You know how it grows instead of goes. You know how it grows. Yeah. I love alliteration. Makes me happy. Is this hash? Excuse me, miss. Is this some hash? Is this a hair? Oh my god. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. I love just flipping words around and oh, it is a little bit of hash. Okay. Shoot, girl, go ahead. Bitch, I said what I said. I got you all up in my head. And that's what it was. I had a bitch all up inside my head sitting there going, oh man, I fucked it up so bad. I fucked it up so bad. And at the time, my vantage point, my perspective was, why is this chick fucking with me? And if anybody's ever been in an argument, there's two sides to every story. Shit, I almost called this thing two sides to every story, because there is. There's your perspective and the way you think things went down and the way it actually went down. Shit, there might be 3, 4, or 5 different perspectives. Your mom's perspective, someone else you don't know's perspective, stranger's perspective, who's ever watching this has a perspective. And you can put out the best type of shit you want and think that you have explained yourself properly or maybe prepared properly, but the truth is people are going to interpret it the way that they want to interpret it. I watch this abolitionist guy about abortions all the time, and he'll have people come up and just say fuck you, and you're just like, how do people talk that way to people? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're allowed to have a different perspective, but you also know that there's some people that are going to want to throw down or do some stupid shit, and that's what we're talking about today. Is the vantage points are different, bro. Like, we all have a perspective that only in our head it looks a certain way, but the truth is there's a lot of ways. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation this morning for the morning motivation. Is like, not for nothing, I go live every morning, and my ex thinks I'm doing it for my clout or for popularity. I watch people that have gotten popular. It doesn't seem like the thing to do when you become TikTok famous. You're usually becoming famous because you showed your booty hole or something bad happened to you. I keep telling people you don't want to be famous because the price of fame is really high. Not only do you lose your anonymity, so like now you can't just go chill at the local McDonald's without somebody coming up to you and wanting an autograph, but also without them coming up to you and having their own perspective. And that's what it is. We're all walking around with our own perspective. Our perspective will change everything about us in our world. Literally, if you think that you're too tired, your perspective is correct and you probably won't go for your workout. And literally, if you think that someone doesn't like you, you might change your behavior because you've believed that that person doesn't like you. And my perspective is it's the morning motivation, and I want to smoke my bong rip and get into this. Bless up to everybody. Shout out to Artemis Berlin. Thanks for the, what the fuck is on my skin? I must have blew a booger when I was blowing my nose. Man, my nose be running. Ooh, that's what kind of show I got. I got a gross show. Anyway, I don't even have a show. Maybe it's for my mental. One of my vantage points is that, I'm here to get my mind right for the morning so that way I can get pumped up before I go to the gym and go to this gym. And I'm kind of waiting for the clouds to go by and the rain to go by so I can go hit the weights, and that's what we're going to do, no lie. Let's go. Bless up. Yes, blessed. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. I have a hoo-hoo shirt too. It's the sound that they make when they're exasperated here in Finland, but I think we all have sounds that when we're exasperated, this happens. So my revelation, my vantage point, the thing that really clicked in with me was the fact that I was kind of beating myself up over what had happened and taking it so personally, right? I watched the Pearly Things all day yesterday, and all the girls say, not me, not me. And they're like, it's a generalization. Well, you can't include me. And it's like, no, you can generalize a population. That's how we do it when we're in psychology, is you have to get everybody's data and you pull it together, and then you get the median, which is the middle, and then you consider that to be, the numbers, the data, the statistics, whatever. And you can't just say, oh, it's just this one person. And then you got to make the pool unbiased, make sure that there's no bias in the pool, that all the spectators or people that you interviewed are randomly selected. There's a way to filter out this personal bullshit that people do. Like, well, I'm on the extreme here and I'm on the extreme here. And it was like, yeah, the data shows that most people are doing this. Not you personally, not your mailbox, not your home, not your couch, maybe not you, but odds are if you look to your left and you look to your right, it's true. This is what it is. So let me get another bong rip real quick. Just like that. I saw so many girls personalizing it, and they try to protect their ego. And what I'm going to do today is I'm not going to protect my ego. I'm going to actually talk about what I did right and wrong, or her perspective, my perspective, and both being true because both of us experienced the story at the same time. Let's go. Yes. Yes, blessed. Perspective like a motherfucker, man. It shapes our world because, like, when the guy was talking to her, the girl came out in the show and led with like some racial stuff. And the guy's like, is that what you lead with? Is that how you start to explain yourself? You're seeing your life through a lens, a rose-colored lens, right? You're seeing yourself. This is my friend's glasses. He ordered these online. Are you seeing yourself through the lens? Can you see yourself without the glasses? I might do the rest of the show this way. What do you think? Benny Mac, what do you think? Keep the glasses? I can't. It's too, this is for sunny shit. But that's what it is, dude. And do we decide to take off our sunglasses or do we decide to keep them on is really our lives. And if we decide to live a life that's full of lies, when I think about it, I think about like fake tits, fake lips, fake eyelashes, and then they're looking for a fake love. Nice. Keep keep them on. And I can't inside. It fucks with my eyes. But yeah, dude, it's one of those that you're sitting there doing this shit where you're going like, am I really seeing this the way that I'm supposed to see it, and have I seen it from someone else's perspective? My aha moment, and the thing that gave me some reprieve from my depression last week was that a reason I went and did my live while I was depressed and blamed it all on me is because I have both perspectives inside me. At one point, I'm always going to pick myself apart and say, this is what I should have did. This is what I could have done. And this is what I wish I would have done differently, right? And then there's always me living in my head, ping-ponging that thought back and forth. Ping pong, boom, dong, dong. I don't know if you guys ever play Pong, but anyway, I'm old enough to have played Atari. Uh, the first Atari. But the without any more data, there's no basis point. There's no way to track your vantage point. When I was in art class in college, right? Yes, I know how to do art. That's how I know how to do design. Anyway, I'm an artist, literally. I can create things. I see things, and I can memorize things, and then I draw it out. Well, if I want to draw it out and the building's all the way down there, I have to create the vantage point and put a dot, literally a dot, and then grab a ruler and draw it out so you can see an alleyway. Everybody's walked down the street, but the perspective and the horizon is over here. I'm using kind of like the ceiling here as the horizon. You know, that's the vantage point. And to be able to shift your vantage point, not like Dolly who puts shit all over the place and it's like abstract. Most of the artists, especially like when they started to do realism and like still life, you need to get the vantage point right, because the fruit would look awkward if it's not the right way. So they would just literally sit there all day, no TV, no cell phones, and just sit and draw the vantage point of what it looks like from their perspective, almost like MC Escher holding a sphere and drawing himself and his reflection in the sphere. It's our perception that shapes our world. It's so imperative that we don't see that, oh, if I get this butt lift, Brazilian butt lift, then I'm going to get the boy with the Bentley. And we put the two and two together because the imagery from, you know, hip hop videos or what we think is successful, it'd be like, yeah, as soon as I got a big fat ass, I'm going to have the right man. And except for that, the man that wants the fat ass is only using your fat ass and not actually marrying your ass. And that's what they were saying, you know, like, oh, these girls were like on OnlyFans. And she was saying, I know a bunch of girls that are OnlyFans that have boyfriends. He said, yeah, but are they married? Right? Like, it was like the shut up in the room. That's like, I can't wait to do some reaction videos actually with you, Benny Mac. I think we would make a killer show with that, by the way. But you know, the what's your end goal? And a lot of people are just like, she's asking, okay, what are you going to do the second half of your life? You know, once you hit 30, you got basically to 60. What's the plan? And a lot of these girls just didn't have a plan. Well, one of them said, wing it. And I'm like, you're 32 years old and you're still saying wing it? Like, in no form did anybody see marriage as a partnership. In no form did they see it like a business. What he was saying, the other guy was saying, what's the other dude's name? I don't know his fucking name. The good looking white boy that's always fit and wearing tight jeans and shit. That dude. What he was what he was saying was, I can't afford to be picky for good workers. There are so few good workers that I don't care what religion they are. I don't care what skin color they are. I need that person to do that job, that specific thing that they do, regardless of their age, regardless of their sex, regardless of their creed. You need that person because it's hard to find good people. That's why I was so burnt about my ex, because it's hard for me to feel the kind of love that I felt for her. Now, I've made love and I've had sex and I've had one night stands. I've done MILFs. I've done single girls. You know, I mean, it's the gamut. And people from around the world. I've had sex with women around the world. And as I started to see things, it's like, I don't see, oh, that's a Finland girl. Oh, that's a Chinese girl. Oh, that's a Thailand girl. No, it's a human. But this human has been shaped by their environment. And that's a weird little thing, because now it's going to give us rose-colored glasses. So if I was a Buddhist, guess what? I'm going to see things probably more benevolently. If I was raised Catholic like I am and was, that perspective comes with guilt, Catholic guilt, and some sin and some kind of punishment system. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, do we believe in capital punishment or are we murderers? It's like, well, yeah, well, that dude murdered somebody, so they deserve the death penalty. And you're just like, but that makes me a murderer too, so then I deserve the death penalty. And if you don't understand this, I love throwing history into my show. That's what I'm gonna start doing, Benny Mac. I love throwing history in our show because history repeats itself, and we can learn from it. Robespierre was leading the French Revolution, but he was bleeding in the streets. He was literally like, chop that person's head off, chop that person's head off. And guess what ended up happening? They end up chopping his head off. And go to the history books. Jean Robespierre, he's a great orator and got everybody riled up. And we should be revolution, and everybody should be obey. And then when the moment they realized that he was a little too bloodthirsty, they end up cutting his head off too. And that's something that we end up doing. We end up cutting our own heads off. We end up casting judgment on people. There's a selection bias. There's what's the other bias? Thanks for getting high, Saint. What's the other one? When you have difference bias, selection bias. It starts with a C. Cohesion, that isn't it. Comprehension, no, that's not it. When you have cognitive bias, and that's when you literally even presented with all the facts, you're still going to believe what you want to believe. And that's what I saw what the girls were doing. Even presented with facts, like they were sitting there. It's like, if a gunman comes in here, are you going to expect these men to protect you? And she's like, no, I can protect myself. And she pointed at the security guard. She's like, you're gonna protect yourself from attack from him? She said, you said a gun. She's like, what's the difference? And that's her vantage point. If it didn't fit in this little box, then you're just being argumentative. You can't possibly see this other vantage point of, in general, yeah, dude, somebody comes in the gun with a gun, we're all ducking. It's an earthquake. We're all getting underneath the school tables, like school desks and the tables. That's like we were taught, or in the door frame, because I grew up in Southern California a little bit, and I was gone through the Northridge earthquake, and these things really do happen. So it's one of those things where it's like, you want to say what you want to say. Like the one girl was going to say, oh, I want to be on the front line. I'm like, hey, it's your birthday. It's time to not celebrate and go be in the army, because in Finland, the men are required to be conscripted and actually have to be in the army. So this chick was like, yo, sure, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just fucking sign up. I'll be right there on the front line. Lo and behold, what I learned is, I was telling her, the reason we don't want you is not only because you're weaker and you're not as athletic, or as women are aggressive, but not aggressive as a violent aggressive. They're more aggressive with their mouths. And this was my aha moment, because my ex kept calling me names, and I was mad at myself for my reaction. I didn't have enough self-control over what was happening, so I'm really embarrassed on this. But at the same time, I give you context to understand why I kicked my ex, like on her butt, and scooted her. I don't have a bed frame. It's about this tall. It's about 2 feet off the ground. I mean, it's not falling from 24 feet up in the air. It's just you're getting kicked out the bed. Like my perspective, like when we were kids and you didn't like your brother anymore, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. Well, I didn't like her talking about her ex, especially in my bed. I don't know if you would do that, and I don't know what your vantage point or perspective is on this, but even 4 weeks pregnant, I was going to allow it. Her perspective was, I just got pregnant by this guy, and he's already starting to show physical violence towards me. So when that happened, I tried to sell her down, but she didn't. Then she got all super mad and started booking her own ticket. I didn't know that type, but she was on her laptop. I left her in the room. I didn't say anything to her. I gave her like a couple hours or something. I wasn't physically threatening her, still arguing or accelerating. I went in the other room, smoked, chilled the fuck out. And she came back out and said the worst thing that's ever been said to me in my life, and said, I don't want to have this baby. And I was shocked. Part of me wants to have the vantage point of, it's your body, your choice. Part of me is on our body already made a choice. And part of me is like, stop thinking that way. And part of her was like, I can't stop feeling this way. And of course, I'm adding the fuel, not with the argument and giving her space, but the fact that I actually physically pushed her out. What she didn't want to do is get back to acknowledgement and accountability and saying, you're right, I shouldn't be talking about my ex in your bed. Now, does everyone have a past? You're right, but time and place. Just like my friends fighting each other the other day down here in Finland. Fuck you, motorcycles! Fuck these motorcycles, dude. They're fucking kids, man. Go do that in the forest. Too many people live here for the constant bullshit. But anyway, and that's what it was. It was kind of like starts to build up, and your perspective is this person's giving me constant bullshit and they're irritating me and they're the problem, instead of ever going, am I the problem? And that's what I did last week. I was just like, it's all my fault. I'm the problem. I'm the source of my own misery. I should have done XYZ. And it's all true too. But even when you're living the experience with someone in real time, they say in real life, IRL, in real time, there's not a lot of jockeying for position there for perspective. It's just experiencing. And it's so fast. Life is going by so fast, and sometimes really fast, especially when you're arguing or you're getting in a fight like last night or Saturday night when I was at the bar trying to sell my shirts and the guys were bumping my table and trying to fight. I was trying to break it up. And this was, okay, you're getting broke up. This perspective was, why you pushing me? Don't push me. You know what fucking width. I'll fuck you up. And I was like, bro, you can come catch these hands, homie. You can be this much taller than me, but you the same size laying down. And that applies for sex, bed, and wrestling. And 90% of the fights go down to the ground. I'm gonna fucking ground and pound your ass, bro. There's no way you're out wrestling me. I'm just telling you right now. So I was thinking, I'm not gonna physically fight at this level. I'm going to change the dynamics and the vantage point and the perspective and bring it to a horizontal level. You might be vertically taller than me, but I'm going to bring you horizontal and watch you fish and be on your back like a turtle. That's why we call it a turtle when you're wrestling, because you just don't know what to do. Most people are so used to being on their feet and fighting and thinking they're coordinated. You can't fight that way. You can't punch when you're on your back. Quote your boy Saint. Anyway, I've never heard that before, but I was just like, this is a thing, you know, you can't punch when you're on your back. So anyway, one of the things that's really changed my vantage point, and more to the point, was I started seeing it from a lot of different perspectives. I wanted to live in the perspective that I fucked up, it's all my fault, depression, bad feelings. And the other vantage point was the and people kept wanting me to be in that other vantage point of you dodged a bullet. The guy was doing it. She's gonna hate this, but it's true. My ex watches my show more than I do. And please stop watching too. This show isn't for you. So if she's watching right now, just stop watching me. You're talking about me going on and finding someone else and finding happiness. It brings me no happiness to see your reflection in my show. You're getting into my psyche, which is a little bit psycho, and it's almost like you get to read my diary, because I'm very honest about my show and my feelings, and I just don't hold back. And that's just who I am. That's the type of person that I am. I like to go deep, and in the depths of my psyche, I saw my abuse my father did to my mother, right? I saw the abuse my grandfather did to my grandma. I saw the histories of just like, oh, we don't want to do that anymore. It's not okay to hit women. And in my mind, I thought, well, shit, dude, I didn't hit her. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't hit her. I never once balled up or smacked or lost my temper to that level. Now, I'm watching the Pearly Things last night, and they're going on about how some chicks are trying to get divorced and trying to trigger men to hit them so they can get the divorce that they're seeking. So I was like, whoa, dude, this is mind blown. She's doing a divorce documentary. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of dudes out there that are paying child support for kids that aren't their own. Or the girl stole the house, like that's happening with my friend right now. That it's his great grandmother's house. It was handed down through the generations, and now she's stealing it, and he can't even live in it, can't even get his CDs, his clothes, or anything. Or how about the women that entice men to actually hit them? Or how about the women that actually like it rough and want to be smacked? It's a whole cycle of shifting to make this perspective. It's almost like a Rubik's Cube, because so many sides to these perspectives. And let me get my MC Escher out, you know what I mean? And just see the sphere. And it's like the bean in Boston. I've never been there, but to see the reflections of the buildings off of this shiny reflective surface, it's the man in the mirror moment. And I don't mind doing a deep dive. I don't mind going in about my genetics, or that my predisposition of being a Creole, and that I have kind of a hot temper, or I have a mouth from the South. She too had the mouth from the South, and it went south after she used her mouth. It's supposed to go north and up and in your mouth and swallow Instead, it was in your face and nasty. And I was just like, dude, I'm not trying to fucking be like that, dude. I'm not trying to fucking be somebody to be riling up. And if you don't believe me, look at your boy Marky Sane at 43 years old last Saturday night with a dude that was like 6'5". Some angry black dude with a long face from Nigeria was trying to get rough with it, and he was about to get knocked the fuck out. And I don't even know the dude. I wasn't even about to get into a fight, but they started a fight. They came near my table and it almost knocked all my shit off. And I'm just like, yo, kind of protecting my business more importantly. But come on, guys, man, don't fight. The whole night's been pretty cool. You know, we don't need that kind of static. I think the dude was the MC too. He got weird. Anyway, he took it wrong and came back that night, maybe hour later when he cooled off, and actually came up, shook my hand. He said, it's a misunderstanding. And that's usually what it is. In our lives, if we don't have vantage points, we're going to take misunderstandings personally. We're going to see them as personal attacks, full-on artillery and salvos coming at you that's just directed at your little foxhole, when the truth is it rains on us all. And that's something that it really helps my mental health, is to realize that I'm not the only one that goes through this, right? People got it worse than me. I know that's kind of morbid because it's like something worse is happening to someone else, but it also gives me perspective on what's happening to me. And it's also one of those things that it rains on us all equally. You know, it's one of those things that really happens that we got to say, go, okay, what perspective am I coming at this with? Am I coming at it from the perspective of this is my lover, this is my friend, or this is my enemy, this is my attacker? And if we want to make enemies out of people really quickly, just like in the bar, then we can. And we start treating those people differently. We start giving the less tip to the waitress, or she forgot my water, or he cut me off in the road, so now I got to fucking cut him off and threaten him with a gun. There's a lot of road rage. There's a lot of hidden anger. It's in the people. I'm watching this guy do one show where he's like, hey, you want to get beat up? And he's talking about his JBL beats and beat up the music. But the way he's phrasing it is, do you want to get beat up? Now, he's obviously going in the hood. He's talking to dudes on bicycles, man. And he's like, what'd you say to me, homie? And it's like, yo, bro, this is the hood, homie. In the hood, when you're in a ghetto or a favela, I hate that word. No, I don't hate it, but it's a weird word. Favela, right? When you're in what is this, like Sao Paulo, Brazil, or one of those real hard hoods, like a bit harder than the hoods we got in America, right? People got machetes and shit. Your life value goes down. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go into these places, people kill for $20, bro. They kill over misunderstandings. It's dog eat dog, bro. And when you're in that kind of fight or flight mentality, or freeze, or like I did, freak out, you know, that's what's happening to you when someone was freaking out. Some dude gave him a pink lighter. He's like, what's up with that fruity shit, man? And start throwing chips. And then they had to black it out because he ended up cutting himself and bleeding. You will be taught by your anger. And sometimes the anger isn't necessarily need to be ratcheted that up. But if you're in the hood, or if you're in the Brazil favelas, bruh, like, you're quick in a hurry to get edgy, and the people around you are quick in a hurry to get edgy because you don't know how much this dude's gonna fight. Like my buddy Mika, when he freaked out, hit the wood, and then part of the wood came at me. You know, you don't know where you're spreading your hate. You don't know where you're spreading your misunderstanding. Collateral damage is around all of us. So it's almost like my parents, I thought about it really deep. Let's go deep. My mom shouldn't have got divorced. And she shouldn't have been talking shit to my dad to get him to punch her in the nose when I was 10 years old. He shouldn't have been drinking alcohol and ruining our family. Both people are trying to fuck up, and the only way she could do it was save her ass. She didn't know what was going to happen to us as a family, me and my brothers and sisters. And if she told me in an email, like if she had known then what she knows now, she wouldn't have broken up the team. A lot of people are trying to save their own asses and get off of teams. They call it team hopping. You know, like LeBron James got all his rings, but Stephen Curry did it with just the Golden State Warriors without team hopping, right? Or girls monkey branching is what they call it, hypergamy, trying to reach out for somebody that's perceived to be, better. So it was just one of those things that I've been in it to win it. I was like really doing a deep dive on what has happened. Yeah, okay, my buddy's going to be here in 15 minutes. So cool. Let me finish the show then. Uh, what we believe has happened and how we perceive what's happened. So if I always kind of perceive that I was this monster that scared my ex into an abortion, it made me feel like a horrible person. Okay. I still feel it inside. Whenever I want to, Erica, flex on these hoes. Yeah, whenever I wanted to see that perspective, what I didn't see was a person that already was going through a divorce, right? Somebody that was already in battle mode, ghetto mode, favela mode, right? Where they're ready to fight. You know a dog when it's ready, and then you got a lazy dog that you can't get one growl out of. They just snore. The perspective is so large, right? The vantage point is everywhere and nowhere sometimes. And that was it. We can either personalize it and put the vantage point straight in our heart and our chest, or we can let it ping pong back and forth in our head. There's so many points that I was just like, holy shit. That's why I love doing this show, because it's like I come up with some really cool human perspective where my mind just went whoosh. Thankfully for my ex, thank you for communicating with me, because those little data points started to add to my median. It started to shift my vantage point. And what I was seeing was, this is a scared person that was already in a worse part of her life. I didn't add anything to it. So why add a child to it, right? There are people that are going to do that in life where they're like, and that's what our mom said when we first told her, it's like, a baby's not going to make it better. Well, maybe that's your vantage point. You know what I mean? But for my family, it was going to get a fuck ton of love and support. That being said, that's not what happened. I wasn't being loving and supporting because I was feeling attacked. I'm not particularly liking someone say that's why you got wrinkles. And I think, yeah, that's what she said before she walked off. And by the way, one of the cool perspectives that I saw with Pearly Things was the guy said, that's because you feel safe. You can call a man a bitch. You know what I mean? Because you feel safe. And then he went around the room and asked the security guard, hey, what happens if I call you a bitch? He's all, it's on site. Other guy, little more petite demure, Mr. I have a fucking what do they call those? Influencer hats. I go to Coachella hats, the Pharrell hat, you know what I mean? Like, calm the fuck down. But for real, when they're doing that shit, right? And they're in that vantage point. I had a point here. I was trying to say more than the hat. All I can think of is Pharrell's hats. But the guy, he said, yeah, I'd probably punch him. And it's like, yeah, dude, because and I know that if you fuck with a man, you can catch these hands. And I have a Catch These Hands shirt at Saints Addiction. But he almost caught these hands Saturday night. I was almost in a physical fight the other night. And it was like, this was really, really going to happen. There's an ambulance. Hold on, let me get a bong rip. I'm getting bowed up right now, I'm getting Odie. And that's what we call it in the South, is like, you're getting Odie is when you're trying to start something with somebody, like this guy that does those TikTok videos going, hey, you want to get beat up? He finds out. You fuck around, you find out. That's another one of my shirts, fuck on shirts, but it's a Saints Addiction shirt. But that's the theme right now in America. You fuck around, you find out, bro. Seriously. And if you want to catch these hands, you can get some. And that's what we say down in the South. Come get some. And there's people that will poke the bear. And the girl was poking his bear and saying, oh, I never heard of your business. And he's like, well, what do you do? She's like, I sing, but I haven't released anything yet. And I'm like, what? How are you going to throw shade on my shit when you don't even have shit? And that's what usually people without shit, they throw the shinola on you. The perspective was, would you want to switch places with your hater? Because haters are usually jealous people. So it's like, is your life shittier or better than the hater? And would you switch your life for your hater's life? Most people are like, nah, they ain't doing better, so they're being a hater. And haters make me famous, but that's what ends up happening for us, is like, this person doesn't like me, one vantage point. Two, this person's envious of me, two vantage point, or three, this is some haterade covered in some jealousy. and you don't get to see, or it's jealousy covered in haterade. Sorry, I got that backwards. I did just get high, but anyway, it's one of those things that it's like, man, we like to let people fuck up our day because they don't like us. 9 out of 10 people can say, "Hey, nice hair, you look good today," and you're like, "Yeah, I look good today." You know what I'm saying? And then also I'm like, "Man, did you gain weight? Or you look fat? That those jeans make you look fat." Talking like a girl, right? I don't know if girls say this to each other, probably though. And they ask that perspective too. It's like, are you an honest friend? Do you ever slut shame or what are they? Body positivity is a big thing right now. And would you be the type of friend that tell a friend that they look fat? So in one perspective, you called someone fat and you hurt their feelings, which is true, and I've done it too. And my dad used to do it to me. And don't call me fat because it makes me feel less of a man, and I don't want that. But when someone calls you fat, right? Do you start like letting that in? And you go like, I am fat. I said it to my buddy one time, and I'll never do this again. But I'm mad at myself because I told my ex to get her fat ass out of the car and kind of grabbed on her. I shouldn't have used the word fat, and I shouldn't have grabbed on her. But she wouldn't get out of the car. She wouldn't allow me to have my leadership abilities. When I say something goes, it goes, bitch. Like, I'm not here to negotiate. Neither are the people in the hood, and neither are the police. When people tell you, get down on the ground now, it's a command. And it's not like they're doing it for their safety and to control the situation. I was trying to control the situation. She wouldn't allow me. She didn't respect me enough to fucking come and talk to me. So that infuriated me, and my behavior became that of such that I was like, yo, I'm in control of this right now. You know what I'm saying? And I was out of control for that. And that's my other perspective and vantage point. But please don't put me in a particular position where I don't feel respected, I don't feel listened to, and I also feel attacked. You should, bitch, straight walked away from me. Why I'm saying walked is because she didn't have to run away from me. Get what I'm saying right now? Because if it was a dude calling me a bitch, he would have to run away from me. Just like that TikTok video. Dude got on the phone. What'd you say, homie? And he had to run around cars and shit. It's kind of a funny TikTok video. But when you fuck with somebody, hey, homie, you better be able to run, homie. You know what I'm saying? That's the hood. And it's not like we're up to no good, up in the hood. And you want to talk shit, you get hit. And that's another one of those shirts. Talk shit, get hit. Don't run. What'd you say? Don't want none. We used to say that too. Oh, don't start none, won't be none. Okay, that's another shirt. Don't start none, won't be none. And a lot of people like to start with people. They like to run their mouths, women especially. They don't use physical violence, they use verbal violence. Thank you, Erica. It's verbal violence because now you know what you're saying to poke the bear. And if you were to poke the bear as a security guard, if I'm a little 5'2" girl at a nightclub and I start going, "You're a bitch," he just literally pick you up and put you out because you're not much of a threat. But all those girls didn't find the guy much of a threat. That's why they didn't have to run. If you were extremely scared, you would run. And I end up getting in the car with this woman after this event and still driving. I have about 20 minutes of video saying, where's your scared now? For her to be melodramatic, because I couldn't talk to this bitch. I gave her to my phone. She's like, I feel scared. He's outside of my car. I'm watching her on my phone because she could have thrown it. I didn't know what kind of mental imbalance. Anything could happen. Would you really give up your only form of communication and currency to someone you just started arguing with? No. But I wanted to stop the fight. That's why I told her to call her mom. Now her mom has to get in the car with us, and she has to finally, at 5 months pregnant, say, I'm pregnant. Instead of keeping it real with her from the beginning, this vantage point, she let it come all the way to 5 months later in a surprise in the rain while we're arguing. Yes, Mark, you're part of that bad timing, and I was mad at myself because I'm like, you had no self-control. You were supposed to be, what's it called? There for New Year's and meet them I think it was in September of 2001 or 2021 when I was like, we were supposed to meet her parents, but she started stonewalling me, ignoring me like I was a part of the couch. And I'm like, hold up, bitch, I've been around the world. People don't just walk past the saint. You got to acknowledge me, get me in the game. I need you to come sit down here, perspective, and say, give me the speech. Okay, my mom, you want to approach my mom kind of soft. She's a conservative Catholic woman, and you're going to have to be on your best P's and Q's. Mind you, here's some history lesson here. Peace and quiet is not P's and Q's. It was pints and quarts, because when you fights would start in the bar, when fights would start in the bar, grab your pint because the shit's going down. And when these guys are doing these TikTok videos, watch all the spectators that are in the game too. One of these guys had came down an escalator and took something from the other guy, and he was like, "Hey, bro," and they're running up and down backwards of the escalator. But when he started running backwards, a mom or a grandma had her granddaughter, and she pulled her to the side, like, "Wait, these guys are fucking around." Now, obviously, the show is about them and stealing, and the guy ran after him. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of let's a prank, if you will, prank. And there's a lot of people doing prank videos too, where they're going past women and go, "Damn, that's a fat ass," and homie's like, "Hold up, homie, you talking about my girl?" And then one of the times he actually pushed the dude, and I was like, "That's where you draw the line. It's not only a prank. You're not a prank bully. You're an actual bully. If you physically touch anyone, it's on and popping, and it's on sight, as we say in the hood. On sight. As soon as I see you, as soon as I'm pushed, whap, bap, bap, I'm throwing these hands." And it's one of those things where I was just like, wow, you must have felt really safe to walk away from me. You must have thought it was really cool to disrespect me. And you also must have thought that I wouldn't do anything about it and I'd be some kind of bitch made nigga, as we say out in the streets. I ain't bitch made, and I'm not one of those type of dudes to just let you. I'm a pimp over simp kind of motherfucker, right? Like mostly saints, I'm pimping over simping because the other guys want to bitch out. I'm not that type of dude. I'm not the type of dude that you want to match as a dude, because if it's a dude, he's 6'5". I'm on that tap, bro. Whap, bap, bap. Yeah, I'm throwing these hands, and I ain't bitch made. But that's what girls didn't understand, the perspective of testosterone. This was really cool. Testosterone for men was that not only that protect and provide that we always say, but it's also lead and take action. And that's what happens with us. When girls have their feelings, they get to kind of sit down and I don't know, sit by a lake and process. What we do with testosterone is we take action. It's like go do a workout, go chop a tree, go knock that motherfucker out. It's not something that lets us stay idle. It's something that riles us up. Like it makes us, our muscles tense. It makes us like flex. It makes us grind. It makes us work harder and longer hours. Like this shit really is something. And it's biological. It's not that it's calculated. It's our biology. As men, over the times, we'll sit here and go, "Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna use our testosterone to go beat someone up." No, it's biological. It wasn't even a decision from a vantage point. It was something that we actually do. It makes us hit pots and pans when we're younger, or hit our siblings, or climb mountains and rock climb without ropes, or it's our risk. It gives us the chance to actually take risks. And that's what it's going to have to take to provide and protect. We have to risk our lives for our loved ones and stand there and go like, "Oh shit, an intruder's coming in." And then I heard the perspective from Joe Rogan and your boy Tommy Chung, and he's like, "You're a paranoid. All the people that are like looking out their windows with their guns are paranoid. You're really willing to let someone else to come in your house, that anything in your house is worth taking someone else's life for? Like, bro, you stole my TV. I mean, I don't think I should kill you for it." And that, again, this punishment, responsibility, accountability comes in our justice system. Is the punishment worth what happened? You know what I mean? Like, should somebody go to life for having some cocaine on them? You're just like, it's part of the drug war. And do I want a kilo of blow on the streets? No. But at the same time, that's only what, $32,000 worth of blow. And if I incarcerate this guy for 20 years for it, it's going to cost the court system $2 million, and his life and his family and all that other stuff. But just saying, like, the system's broken. And if we don't have any perspective to fix it, we're always going to be the guys that write bigger checks and keep bailing ourselves out like we're doing in America. We got to keep asking the government to bail us out. "Hey, can I get another 6 months, bro? Just on that loan, dog." You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, 3 months, dog, because I'm really desperate. But I'm going to be as more desperate in 3 months because the payment is coming. Someone comes in my house, like, when my family's there, then they're going to get smoked. And that's what Joe Rogan said. Thank you for bringing this up, Benny Mac. Joe Rogan was saying, "No, I think they're going to take my life." And then quickly, like the genius that he is, seeing that this is a losing argument, that he's talking with someone that believes in gun violence and wants gun rights. I mean, he said, "Did you ever see that raccoon on the boat?" He just totally changed the subject. He was like, whap, bap. So it's one of those things, bap, bap, whap, bap, bap. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. Oh, yeah, 3-piece and a soda, bro. Bit, bit, bit. You're going to have to Jorge Masvidal that bitch. Whap, whap, whap. He threw Leon Edwards for a hands behind his back. Did it. You know, like quick 3-piece and a soda, bro. You don't want none. As we say in the hood, 3-piece and a soda. You don't want none. Catch these hands. Get some. Fuck around. Find out. Don't start none. Won't be none. Like the hood tells you and explains to you, like you can be touched. And most people live in their fairy world where they don't touch anything. And mostly, most people aren't breaking into your house. So you're preparing for this thing, this paranoid thing that you are going to be so armed. And what happens is you're usually butt ass naked and asleep, and the person takes your shit and slips out the window anyway. So, you know, the security systems that we have, I was just watching last night, they were talking about the phenomenon, the Kardashian social media. And I thought it was interesting because it was explaining how social media is changing in the 21st century and how all of us are wanting to digest perspectives, right? We want to eat this stuff up, and probably the best idea I've ever done is having a show because it's just more content. We want to live in something else's world, just like a movie, and we're like, oh, it's iRobot. Yeah, we're in the future already. Or I watched Back to the Future Part 2 last night. It's been a long time since I saw that. I was like, that was really classic. It was playing here in Finland with subtitles. But, you know, when our future perspective, right, like when we're thinking about ourselves and what we want, when you ask somebody, you're like, hey, what do you want? You're gonna be like 6 foot tall, bigger than a 6-inch dick, 6 figures. What you're not saying on the other perspective is that they don't make people for you, right? Like people are born, they're not made. And they're not something that you can swipe and select and just go down the thing. Of course, you're going to say you're going to want the most, right? Hey, you want some chocolate cake? Yeah, I'll take some chocolate cake. Hey, you want some pasta? Yeah, I'll take some pasta. Hey, you want some wine? Yeah, I'll take some wine. But to the amount of wines, do you get 3 bottles of wine? That's kind of excessive, right? But if you're sliding for 6 foot, of course you're going to get as many bottles of wine as you can. And if you ate your chocolate first, if you ate 10 slices of chocolate cake, are you going to even eat your food after? Are you going to eat your steak? Probably not. So it's one of these things as us as gluttons and jealousy, gluttony, envy, all of those are said 7 deadly sins. We push, call about Saints addiction. We push for the maximum, bro. We're always going up and going like, I want it all. And that's what women do. And one of the guys asked for the interview was he asked him, he said, girls at the night, I think he was in the South or something. It was all Atlanta, all black girls, a black interviewer. And she kept saying, he said, do you want a husband, was it a married man? I was going to say a husband that cheats on you, a married man. Oh, here's my buddy. Or he already knows I do the morning motivation. He's got a married man or, hold on. Let me think real quick. My buddy's coming. Okay. Yeah, look, the hardest working man in the biz, bro. Hardest working man in the biz. Fucking yes. I'm almost done with the show. Yeah, okay. So they asked the question, it said, would you rather have a married man or a guy that's loyal to you but tells you no? And all the girls were like, oh, hell no, you don't get to make a decision for me. I make my own decisions, da-da-da-da-da. And I'd much rather have a guy cheat on me than a guy discipline me, is basically what they were saying. And I'm just like, wow, bro. And one girl said, I need to hear no sometimes. Like 1 out of the 20, 30 interviews that he did, one was said, I need to hear no sometimes because you can't have it all. But that's only one perspective. Most people want it all. And like I was telling my ex, you don't get it all. There was like a meme that said like 5 things. And it's like, you can't have all 5, but choose one. And it was like over 6 foot, won't cheat on you, has empathy. And what they were trying to say is like all women want all 5 things, but not all men have this kind of all 5 things. You could have the dude that's 6 foot, but then he won't have the empathy. And then you can have a girl or a guy that's empathetic, but he won't be 6 foot. And that was the perspective for me. It was just like, wow, mind blown that we sit here and throw me those lighters, the matches. I was trying to smoke this. Oh, I thought you had matches. I heard something. Yeah. And that was it, dude. The mindset for my Vantage Point that helped me get through that depression week And with my friends, it was just it was like looking at it from all sorts of angles. I was looking at it like I was the worst human being that ever walked this earth, and I'm such a dick, and I should have fucking been nicer. And if only I was nicer, then I wouldn't have lost my baby, and then this shit wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't be depressed on the couch in Finland. And I'm like, I don't want to be depressed on the couch in Finland. I want to be with my friends in the moment with their family. When we had family dinner, I had an early Thanksgiving dinner, and all our boys. What are you looking for? Oh, I'm trying to. What? I'm almost done. This is some of that scrappy shit. Yeah. But no, dude, get more to the point and end the show. I've been doing hour shows this whole week because I was getting so emotional. But you can take things emotionally. Oh, here's some weed right here. Oh, yeah, you can take things emotionally. You can see things from only your perspective. But by the time I kind of sobered up from my depression, what was really happening was I saw that my ex was in an impossible situation. I was wilding out on her. I didn't make it any better. But what she was presenting me was a broken system. She was presenting me with someone that could disrespect me and walk away, or stonewall me, or call me names, and I didn't really appreciate that, and that got the worst part out of me. I'm not the type of person that really starts fights. Like I said at the bar, I didn't start that fight. I was trying to stop it. His perspective was that I was pushing on him. Her perspective is I was pushing on her. I can be a high energy, high pressure dude, but I'm trying to go somewhere. And that's what my testosterone says is I have to take risks. I have to take action. I need to be bold and show up to the fucking Pila Pica, even though the night was empty and nobody bought anything from me. Everybody wants to be a fucking brand owner or sell shirts or make shirts. It's so easy till you fucking actually worked your ass off and don't sell anything. Are you still going to keep giving yourself consistency? Are you the type of person that's going to work out and go, oh, I didn't lose 30 pounds this week? Yeah, right. You didn't even change your diet either. So there's one of those things where it's like our perspective will switch our reality so fast. I was wearing these on the show. This is the reality glasses.
Yeah.
Whatever rose color glasses is Mika's glasses. Where'd you order these again?
There's Finnish, not bad. Fast ones.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the Finnish brand.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
What's this say?
Something to chase it.
No Pete.
Yeah.
Straight out of the future. What did we watch last night?
Yeah, that's right.
Back to the Future Part 2. These are Back to the Future Part 2 glasses, basically. So they are, right? Wasn't it from the thing? Fucking crazy. I was like, wow, Mika, you bought the fucking glasses from Back to the Future. Anyway, this perspective changed my whole world, and it really helped my heart, and I hope this helps other people's hearts, because you could feel like you're doing all wrong, but sometimes first we go right, then we go wrong, is what he said. Our friend the Godfather was in the car, and he was kind of drunk, and I'm driving his car, but he's supposed to be my navigator and give me directions. Hoo-hoo. And he said, first you go right, then you go wrong. And we all started laughing. It was classic. And I'll never forget it, but it's like the worst directions ever, but it's life.
Yeah.
We're only mad at the decisions we didn't make. We made a decision, but we didn't like the outcome. That's when we feel like we made a mistake. And I keep raising my hand like Aki. I'm a mistake master. Yeah, hoo-hoo. I'm a mistake master, you guys. I made so many mistakes, and I wish I could fix them all. I wish I didn't do them because I don't like the outcomes. And at the time, I made those decisions, like kicking her out of my bed because I didn't like what she was saying. I didn't like what she was about to say when she sat on that couch and said she didn't want to have that baby. So I earned my disrespect with her. I earned me scaring her. I did the things that intimidated her or made her not want to have a baby. At the same time, she was also going in through the motions of, I'm already divorced. I'm already going through a custody battle, and I'm already battling what she called me another egotistic narcissist or something. Of course I have an ego. Everybody has an ego, dude. And everybody has vanity. And it's another one of the 7 deadly sins, but it's true. And as long as you keep chasing that shit, like these bitches keep trying to chase fake lips and fake everything, fake eyelashes, the guy she's going to want is going to be fake. Imagine that you're the flower, what kind of bee you're going to attract. And that's what we keep doing. I kept kind of like, okay, now I'm finally free. what kind of bee can I attract now that you basically gave me back my freedom? I told her, you're the one person in this world that has like control over my future and what direction my life goes. And she forever changed the course of my life. And now it's on this traveling the world and healing journey is now part of my life. And I got to spend time with my friends in Finland. I don't think I would be here right now if it wasn't for what had happened. And now I'm on this path. And just like Jack Frost, one of my favorite poets of all time, said, I choose the path less traveled by. He said, I'm walking down the path and the road's divided. Which path shall I choose? Shall I choose the path that's already worn, or should I choose a path that's like no path at all? And that's what I end up doing. I choose the path less traveled by, and it's rebellious. It's not conventional. Sometimes I have no money. Sometimes I'm homeless. Sometimes I'm depressed. But at the same time, I go and look at someone else's perspective and go, at least I'm not in Bangladesh. You know what I mean? I'm not, I wasn't born that way. So I have a huge amount of opportunities. And that's the way that I talk to myself. So I go, Mark, you're not retarded. You're actually smart. You got hands that work. Your body's able. So you're willing and able is what we say in America. Your mind and your body is working. And if I get my soul to work on it too and put my passion into it, then something will happen. And it is starting to happen. My friend called me last night and he was like, hey, what's your website? I'm trying to tell my friends about it. And I was like, what? Yeah, he's selling my shirts for me. He's promoting for me. He's like, what's the name of your Instagram? I'm trying to show my friends they want to order shirts from you. When he told me that, my perspective was, maybe it was his Finnish language because he's not that good at English, but I thought he said that he had friends. Hey, Mark, come over here. What's the print process? And he was kind of asking. I thought he wanted his friends want to order their designs from me. That was my perspective. He was actually trying to get his friends to buy shirts from me, my designs. A little bit of confusion. Again, like the black guy that came up to me, the big dude was all, Mr. Nigeria was all like, sorry, bro, it was a misunderstanding. And I was like, yeah, bro, big misunderstanding because you're over here fucking trying to fucking knock my shit over. And I'm just trying to get you guys to stop fighting. And then you try to start fighting me. And I'm like, I'm not the one. And that's another one of my shirts. I'm not the one. Don't fuck with me because you fuck with the bull, you'll get the horns. And I was trying to establish that dominance and that how I am. And it's the truth. This is actually how I am. And I am a violent person. My buddy's like, how can you do the morning motivation and be a violent person? I was like, only when it has to happen. Only when my testosterone has to kick in, or I have to protect somebody, or I have to defend myself. Am I starting fights? I don't go out and start fights. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a drinker. I'm not that kind of aggressive. But my mouth can get me in some trouble. But I'm never like getting salty on people and going, we're fighting right now. You'd have to steal from me, or I don't know, not even that. I don't know, fuck with my friends really to be able to get me to physically assault you, or you have to physically try to assault me, and then you're gonna catch these hands. So it's one of those things where my buddy Stinky Linky over here trying to he keeps wanting to like jostle. He wants to poke the bear, and I'm like, we're gonna wrestle again. When I was telling him, and my friends are like, Mark really knows how to wrestle. I'm like, dude, I know how to wrestle. I had forgotten that I already choked him out on the couch. I never told you this. We were at Godfather's house and he was fucking with me. I took his back and how do you know? You know, I told you. Well, anyway, that's the point, dude. It's like don't fuck with somebody so you can find out. Don't be the one. This is the whole point of this hour-long show. Is like don't be the one that has the wrong perspective. Don't be the type of person that only can stay in one perspective. Be open-minded. You got to see both sides of the road. You got to see both sides. I was going to call this both sides this show this morning because there's too many perspectives there for us not to get a different vantage point. It's one of my favorite movies, Vantage Points, because they went through this whole like bomb sequence and everybody had their cameras and how they viewed it and the story unrolled and stuff. And that's our lives. That's that movie of if we keep sitting in one vantage point and saying things are this way, then we're always going to see it that way. And thankfully for her email, I got to see things a little bit differently. And I'm grateful right now. I send her all my love. And like she said, love from a distance, and maybe we weren't supposed to work out. Maybe it was bad timing. You ask me, I think that baby was on time. It was perfect timing, and we would have made it work. You ask her, and it inconvenienced her. She lied about it, and even her mom believed that it was too soon, is what she said. So I don't know. I'm not God. I'm just a little human ant on this planet. My buddy's like, and you can live in Thailand, and I was like, I live on this earth. I just so happen to be on a different part of this planet right now, but we all live on this earth. We're all in on this circle. Not one of us has got a planet B. We have to get along. We're going to have to learn how to talk during conflict. And we're also going to have to get out of our own cognitive biases and see things for reality. And even if we perceive those things to be reality, how about seeing someone else's vantage point as reality? Mic drop. I'm gonna let this show go. This has been a blessing, peace and love. And as always, Chigata. That means goodbye, but not forever in Phoenix. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, subscribe, or share with a friend that needs it, dude. That's the only reason I do this show is and do this shit and do the shirts is because it's like, I'm trying to reach, preach, and teach to people. I want people to be able to get something out of it, and that's just my perspective. So go have a blessed day, get out in that sunshine, love your life, and I'm gonna go love mine. Peace. Middle East. Peace from the Middle East. You remember that?
Yeah.
I got high.